What's up, everybody? Today we got an exciting one. This is going to be an energetic one and a spiritual one for you. I'm Darrin Henson.
And I'm Taurey Henson.
And you're watching and listening to the In the Groove podcast. Today, we have my brother, my friend, my man. He's an actor, a producer. He's a dad. He's a father. He's so much. And you're going to learn so much more about him. And you've already seen him. He's got a show on BET Plus right now called The Black Hamptons. But you've seen him in other things. But we're going to be talking to him in the studio today, Mr. Karon Joseph Riley.
Yes, Ashe. Peace and love to my brother and sister, man. It's so
welcome.
Glad to be here. Man, you really good at this, bro. Like, you good at everything you do?
I'm just learning, man.
Karon, everything.
Everything. That's gotta be so annoying.
Look, we played chess one time. He didn't even know how to play.
At one, right? And you like probably 12
He don't even remember.
Like, wait a minute.
I was in the chess club in 6th grade.
I opened up with the scholars mate set up and everything, and you just beat me?
Karon, just for me, move to the right just a little bit more.
Right.
Move to the right, yeah. Move your chair to the right. Yeah.
There we go.
There you go.
Good.
I just want to be safe because I want to make sure we see that beautiful face.
Appreciate you, King.
Karon.
Yes, sir.
Brother. Now I know you.
Yeah.
I know how focused you are. I know the great dad you are. I know the great husband you are. I know the spiritualist that you are. I want to start off that way. I want people to really get to know you, the ones who don't know you. So, if people don't know, you were a professional football player.
Right.
But you've done something with your career. And again, right now, people can watch you on BET Plus on The Black Hamptons. Right now.
Yeah.
What I want to talk about in today's podcast, because I got to do this again for you. And the reason that I'm doing this applaud again is because you understand alchemy.
Absolutely.
You understand, overstand, and understand the transference of energy.
Ashe.
You took the focus and the time, the muscle memory, the energetic memory from football and transferred it into acting.
Yep.
We were talking off air just now about something that you do, which is cycling. Mm-hmm. And you were talking about after a certain amount of miles, it's not about the physical body anymore. You have to tap into that spiritual in order to continue. Break us down with a little of that so we forever be broken.
Yeah, so that's a dope segue. So basically, anybody who follows me and knows me now at this point understand that keep pedaling is basically where I came with it. And this came to me on the bike. I was out really far out and I was hurting, bro, and cramping up, and I was like, man, I don't know if I'm gonna make it home. I gotta get home. I got Lola, I got Cal, I got Terry, I got Dalen. They waited for me to get home. So I started pedaling. Couldn't go fast as I normally would because I'm cramping. My body's breaking down. And I started hearing this voice. It said, just keep pedaling. Keep pedaling. Keep pedaling. And my body started intuitively switching different muscle groups to work that was able to work. You know what I'm saying? I'm an athlete, so I changed my pedal stroke up for about 10 miles. Switched to another muscle group. Kept pedaling. Kept pedaling. Kept pedaling. Until I saw that front door. And that was like a moment in my life that just changed. And it was one of those moments where you go pull out and you can see your whole journey from childhood to where you was at. Like I call it the bird's eye view that I came up with. I told her, I was like, man, I just saw bird's eye view and why I'm never gonna be ungrateful for my life again, because I just saw in a nutshell how I'm made. The reason why I was able to make it to the NFL, the reason why I'm gonna be a top actor in the world one day, the reason why everything I've set my mind to since I was a child, I've done. Like people be like, you're married to a beautiful actress, you have this, you have that, you just...
Shout out, I want everybody to know, when you keep saying Terry, you're talking about your wonderful wife, Terry J. Vaughn, who we had on the show also.
Absolutely.
And you know, you guys really are a team together. But go ahead, I don't want you to stop.
No. So that's what I'm saying. Like, my life hasn't been an accident. And I tell people all the time, like, people come to me all the time, well, I want to get into acting, I want to do this. And my response is, do it. It's it. if you see it, it's already yours.
That's right.
But the deal is, you gotta put your hands in the dirt to pull it out.
Yeah.
Say it again, Karon.
It's there when you see it. If you see it, I don't care what you see.
You already have the ability.
That's
to
yours.
Yeah.
And usually the craziest vision, the one that scares the shit out of you, is the one. That's where faith comes in.
Yeah.
There's nothing outside of you that you gotta believe in but yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I tell my son, like, dude, I ain't gotta believe in your dreams. That
You
ain't my
do.
responsibility.
That's right.
It's your job.
That's right.
First, second, and third. If you don't believe first, don't expect 1 million people, 10 million. I studied.
If you don't believe it, nobody else is going to believe it for
And
you.
it won't
Nobody-
come true. It won't come to you.
Well, the universe is first and foremost the
Right.
Most High, which is all one and the same, right?
Yes.
It's not going to believe it. And then it's going to test you.
And it's intention.
Yeah,
it's
it's
intention behind
absolutely,
your
and that's why you have to be careful what you think. Very hard, you know. That's the biggest focus of our minds is what we think about in a repetitive nature is usually what is manifesting in your life.
Magnetism.
belief. Right.
Magnetism.
Self-talk is important.
Self-talk, internal self-talk, verbal self-talk.
Yeah.
Because the universe doesn't know the difference between if you're
No.
playing around and
That's
you
right.
know what I'm saying. So you
Subconscious, super subconscious, and conscious are
it's all linked.
all linked
You're living in your past, present, and future simultaneously.
simultaneously. The then, the present, and the future thens. Come on. Look, I told y'all we having a conversation. We got Mr. Karon Joseph Riley in here. If you haven't heard, now you heard. We're on the In the Groove podcast and we're talking to the man who is always in a state of creation. One of the things that we talk about here is you are either in creation or recreation. And what I mean by that is if you're operating from your past, you're in recreation because you're doing the same things over and over. But you're in creation when you're living in the moment. When you utilize the knowledge which has turned to wisdom applied with action, it becomes creation, right? And whenever there's something that has been destroyed, something new is being birthed. It goes hand in hand, right?
Yep.
And so you understand that. So one of the reasons that we wanted you on the show is because, first of all, you my brother, and you're doing such amazing work. I've seen you over the years just rising, and when we started to talk, I said, we got to tap into the truth of what really is. You know, it's easy to come on the podcast and talk about, you know, the industry, because the industry is going to be the industry. But what makes up the industry? One of the things that your wife said that when she was here, she said that she wanted to be a boss in the business. Well, now she is a boss. She is in the business. Show business, which is a compound word. The show is the artistry, but there's a huge business that surrounds it. And if you don't know it, you in trouble. You're going to get hung out like a rag doll.
Exactly. I'm thankful to the NFL for teaching me that lesson.
Man.
Oh, wow.
So let me ask you this. So I one of my mentors in my life has, for the last 22 years, has been Mr. Jim Brown.
Oh.
Right? Yeah, right? So you're talking Syracuse, you know.
And did you know he's in the Lacrosse Hall of Fame?
Yes, he was a better lacrosse player than he was a football player.
Did you know that he would come in and play 10 minutes on the basketball team and get like 10 rebounds?
I know everything about Jim Brown. So you do know I played Jim in the Express.
Yeah, I know
right?
you did, but
I studied that man.
So you just, because I was
Oh my goodness.
It was a role that
Is it back and forth? Did you know about this?
Yeah.
Did you know about this?
Well, it was a role that put in front of me that made me do the research.
Oh wow! Well, there you go.
It
You
was
see?
it was for that the 7.
You see?
Seven.
Yeah.
So they was developing something.
Yeah, it's so
crazy.
amazing how we grow, right? Because you said something earlier as well. I got to talk about it because we talked off air, but there was a lot that we said. You said everything works out for my greater good.
Absolutely.
And if we could understand that, you said bird's eye view. It's the same thing as overstanding, right? When you understand it means you're beneath it. When you overstand it, you can see it. It's like a map. You can see everything. And then when you understand it, you could let go now because it's not the body anymore.
Yep, and that soul is above and so beneath. So it's all connected because the above will be, you know, your spiritual feeling, but then the beneath will be your internal, that internal gut feeling you have when you're on the right path.
If you're obedient.
If you're obedient, you pay attention to the laws.
Yes,
the
sir.
laws of the law.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
As you would say,
Awesome.
shit.
Yes.
So I wanted to ask you, because it was really fascinating to me that you were in the NFL first. Was football your first passion, or was it acting? Was it both? How did you create, this career?
Absolutely not. Football was not my passion. Never was my passion. I wanted to be an actor. I played Puss in Boots in the first grade.
Oh, wow.
And I had this line, and I said my line.
What was your line?
Not I, said the cat.
So now you're about 7 years old, right? Six or seven.
7, yeah. I was
Right?
first grade.
That was your first role.
6 or 7, right? And we was on stage. I'll never forget, our little director was this little white dude. His skin used to be peeling off. His name was Peter. And I was Puss in the Boots, and my mom and them, they lit up in that corner so loud, and I was like, yeah, I'll be doing this forever. And ever since that, was always, my mom was always saying I had the capes on, running around the house, like, and it was funny, I just read something just the other day from my first grade teacher, Peter, who did the play. He's like, Karon's imagination is crazy. He should tell stories, and he should, whatever he does, because his imagination is crazy. Like, he doesn't even sit still. He's like, he's whatever. And I look back, I just read that yesterday. And we sit here, so you asked that question. Football was not my passion. It was I was being obedient. And also I told people in the 6th grade that I was going to play pro sports. And I started practicing my autograph then because I saw the vision. I knew I was going to be a pro. I thought it was basketball.
A pro athlete, but you just didn't know which sport. But
I knew I was going to be a pro
vision.
athlete. Like when athletics came to me about as easy as breathing. Like I was
I was gonna say you're just good
You
at
were
everything,
talented.
bro. Because you just really are. Whatever you put your mind to.
Physically.
And you're tall.
Yeah. So that was. That's how it's been my whole life, bro. Like my mother used, and that's another thing, man. I so believe in speaking life into everybody I encounter on a daily basis. If I talk to you, I'm gonna say something positive to you and to you, right? My mother put so much into me, bro. Like, she would call me her golden child. You the golden child, baby. You gonna do so many special things. And she would just say stuff like that to me while she's putting my coat on.
Wow. And that really transcends a person's mind.
Bro, I cannot be broken, man.
Yes.
Like, this world is tough as shit on a black man, but it would not break me because I know.
Because that was instilled in you as a child.
I know where I come from. I know what I'm made of. I know I come from the same people who built the pyramids, who gave the world algebra and science and astronomy and everything that's good.
Mathematics, science.
The world that. I understand that. Yes, I understand we had a situation, but if you really, we're not gonna get into that on this one. But the chosen, first shall be last.
Last shall be first.
And we will be in foreign lands. Away from our...
Yes, sir.
Who does that sound like? We not gonna go there.
No. You know what? Let's go there, because we go there on this show.
Oh,
watch this. So watch this. I told people a long time ago, right? And this is something that I learned. It was given to me in a labyrinth. Somebody said, one of my favorite movies of all time, and I just want to share it with you, is The Wizard of Oz. I love The Wizard of Oz. I mean, I've watched that movie probably 150 times. That and West Side Story. But when it was broken to me, when it was broken down to me through mastery, it was a horse of a different color. You ready for this? They took our life and our story and put it in The Wizard of Oz. I said, how so? They said Dorothy was taken from a land, not hers, put in somewhere, right, where she didn't know. On the road that she was traveling, she met the Scarecrow, who supposedly didn't have a brain, but he figured everything out. As they continued down that road, they met the Tin Man, who supposedly didn't have a heart, but who has compassion on everybody and everything.
Right.
And then they bumped into the Cowardly Lion, who supposedly didn't have any courage, but he fought through everything and he was willing to give his life. And they were seeking the Oz, who ultimately was a sham and really didn't know how to get them back. And then they were seeking the who? The clairvoyant, the witch, who said you had the power, the clairvoyant, you had the power within you all along to get you wherever you wanted to go. They took our story and put it in a movie and hid it in plain sight right in front of us.
That's what they've been doing since the beginning, D. They've been putting it out there in front of us. But they always say, man, you want to hide something from us, you put it in a book. And it's a reason why they destroyed everything. But they took the books, they put them up, they took all the information, they got it. So imagine playing with a group of people that you done took their whole history and culture from, and now they got to play catch up and figure out that if they just understood exactly what they really came from, this thing would just self-correct.
Oh, yes,
it was self-correct.
And I think it's trying to.
It's starting to.
In all kinds of
there's
ways.
an energy that's moving in the world. I can feel it, man. And I did my ancestry. I found out my my original lineage comes from Liberia. And
Oh, you
Sierra
did
Leone.
it.
Oh, I'm deep. I got
You
my
did it.
tribes, dog.
You did it.
I got like 3 tribes I'm connected to.
Wow.
I'm going home, bro.
Wow.
I'm actually gonna probably write a movie behind it, like Prodigal Son or something.
That's
And I'm
beautiful.
gonna go back to Liberia, shoot the movie, and it's gonna have a story behind it where I come back and take the country over or something. Because I see I can.
And you
probably do
feel
it.
that connectivity once you find out.
Bro, I've been feeling that pull since I was a boy. I never fit in here. I used to tell people I was from Krypton, dog. Where you from, Krypton? I ain't from here.
I love it.
I ain't from here.
Because when you know, you know. There's a saying that Lisa Nichols had in a movie called The Secret.
Yeah.
Lisa Nichols, she said, I know like I know like I know.
Mm-hmm. So, are you guys familiar with the show Love Country?
Yeah,
the one
absolutely.
that
Yeah,
got
So,
canceled.
yeah. Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, it
They
got
dropped
canceled.
too many gems. I mean, one I'm speaking of is when the lady came with the big afro, and she was like robots with her, and they came in the spaceship, and she said, "Name yourself." Like that had to be the most powerful line of the season.
That's
at that
so
moment,
powerful.
At that moment, I was like, "Wow, they just outdid themselves with that," and it was spectacular. I think every African descended person should understand that philosophy of we name ourselves.
It's so powerful. Like, so think about it. Queen Latifah, she was gonna be big. Charlemagne the God, he was gonna be noticed. He was gonna be world renowned, right? These names are powerful, right? They have energy that shape and surround them. Even the word Muhammad means worthy of praise, right? So naming yourself, they was giving up too much information. They didn't want that.
Well, that's it. They was giving up to me means speed of name. My name means holder of prophecy.
Look at that.
Oh, wow.
So you speak things into existence.
I've been doing it my whole life.
Yes, sir.
That's why I tell people it ain't theory no more to me. Ain't nothing. Some of this stuff I know now.
That's why I said you an alchemist.
Like some of this stuff I know the recipe to some things now. It's like I can put that in the box of checked off good. I can go to that next level of enlightenment. I got that part.
It's like Will Smith and The Rock.
Yeah, they figured it out. Like I study those guys. You look at them and you understand with them that when they show up completely in their power of themselves, of knowing themselves.
No apology. Unapologetic.
No apologies. There's no apology in their spirit. That's why it's like, I remember one of my acting coaches recently I had in the last few years, she was like, dude, stop apologizing. Like, and I now check people, like when you came in today, you was like, you apologized 3 times, I almost like, stop apologizing, man. Black people don't apologize. No, you apologize first time, we good, we heard you, your brother, it's nothing else after that. Like, we got to get out of that constantly apologizing, even as actors.
Even when people bump into people, they go, oh, sorry, you didn't do anything wrong. Just excuse me is enough.
Yeah, it's not nothing to be sorry for.
Yes, sir.
Nothing to be wrong. Like, no, like, apologies when they should matter. That's
right.
But if you apologize for every little insecure, then you
internalize
you condition your soul to not ask for what you want, to not demand what you want.
That's right.
Because you're too busy trying to. I'm sorry.
Yeah, shrinking.
To shrink for people.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, full of sorry. Sorry, full. Sorry, full or full of sorry.
I leave it right
yes,
there.
Sir.
Yeah. That's
yes,
how
sir.
you need it. You're speaking, man. Like you said, names matter. The Rock, you know, that's his whole bit rock.
Think about it. The Rock.
Yeah, Dwayne. You know, he's, you know, when you watch him, you study him. You know, and it's not hard to see when you're in tune.
So I love that. You just said that you study people. And so there's so many people in this industry who show up with their phones in their hand, look at their lines when they're on set, which makes my stomach turn and my skin crawl. You know to study the greats. Like when I used to work with Michael Jackson, that was one of the things that he said. If you look at anything that Michael Jackson did, he took what somebody did before him and made it even better.
There's nothing new under the sun.
Correct.
So stop even thinking you're original. You're
Correct.
not. You're not. Every idea I have is floating around for everybody.
Already.
I just grabbed it.
That's right.
And then the difference between me and everybody else, or not everybody, but 90%.
I'd go even higher than that, but okay.
It's 90s. You know, go to the WEB, Du Bois Talented 10th papers.
Yes, sir.
It's about 10%.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? And we all fluctuate in that 10. You know what I'm saying? You look at Will. He's the 1%. Like he's the top. Then you have different levels. There are levels
Yes,
in all that percentage. But the talented 10th are the talented 10th.
Yes.
You're a talented 10th.
Yeah.
I'm a talented 10th.
Yeah.
She's a talented 10th. My wife is a talented 10th.
Yes.
Everybody probably around you is a talented 10th. Because like energy attract like energy.
That's right.
And the stronger the conviction of each said energies, you don't tolerate anything else but that around you.
No, sir.
And your spirit doesn't either. So most people that can't match that energy consistently, they will burn out.
That's right.
And it will show them true selves to you. And you will see it so widely, which we spoke about earlier in another room. We won't talk about it now, but we understand that how that happened.
Overstand.
So you overstand.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a light, bro.
Yes, sir.
If you got some shit in you,
I'm a see it. Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. Like I come as myself.
Mm-hmm.
I walk in every room.
It's what it is, and what happens is, I think there's a couple of things, and I've been saying this for the last couple of days, Karon. If you are light, always remember it's gonna have shadows around too.
Absolutely.
You gotta understand that law of polarity that we talk about,
Absolutely.
right? It's always gonna have shadows around. The thing is, you don't dim your light just because there's a shadow, right? You don't shrink just because other people feel uncomfortable. You don't bite your tongue because somebody can't understand the truth. The thing is, truth doesn't run. It's the BS that runs from the questions, not the truth. The truth is always there to be the truth, and you can stand on the truth. Now, it may not be comfortable, but it's there to grow from, right? It's like a seed.
Learn from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? It's like you plant the seed and it has to grow roots.
Roots are in the dark.
Yeah,
it's
you have
underneath.
yes.
You don't see them.
You have the roots before you have the fruits, right? You can't eat off the apple tree without it being rooted first.
Facts.
Right? And so I find so going back to industry now. Going back to industry. A lot of people, and we know this day of so-called reality shows, because to me those shows are unrealistic. They're not reality at all, right?
Fabricated reality.
Yeah. And so what I find is that in those particular shows, they're trying to get somewhere without knowing who and what they really are right now. And so as an actor, dropping into your characters, right? Because you know the work. Dropping into your character, telling their truth, telling their need, you being affiliated with sports, professionally, transference of energy, knowing what you know, the stories that you tell. What kind of stories are you interested in telling, and why?
All right, well, the stories I'm interested in telling are stories that are, again, show our greatness, show us as something other than I love power, I love BMF, I love all that, I love the work, I just love seeing my brothers and sisters work. But, I mean, I love Snowfall. But I want to be able to show our kids more than Black Panther, right?
Yeah.
That's coming from one of us. I put it on this podcast, and it's going to keep living because it's manifesting as we speak.
That's right.
It's called The House of Ra. I'm almost finished writing it. That would be the real first Black Superman.
That's incredible, I think, because
it's stupid.
It's all that, right?
It's stupid.
Because that right there is coming from a whole different space.
Dude, he don't come from no other planet. I'm not gonna put it on.
That's coming from a whole different space.
Yeah, no doubt. Like the reason why he's Superman is it's because of the melanin. Without it, he's not what it is.
I mean, it's factory already.
No, I'm about to kid. It's about to be stupid.
You see, this is the kind of information you watch from In the Groove podcast. We on here with the real talk. We told you this is a podcast with a twist. Remember, come as you are, but you can't stay as you are. You give up on Monday, there is no Tuesday. Tap in.
Yeah, so like I said, that first superhero I want to see. I would love to see somebody do Mansa Musa. You know what I'm saying? I would love to see someone do.
I think Michael Jai White is possibly working on that right
okay,
now.
that's good.
Shout out to Michael Jai White, my big bro.
Yeah, man, Michael Jai's we've been talking about racing for about 10 years. I said, you kick my ass, but you ain't gonna beat me no foot race. You'll beat my ass, but you ain't gonna get me no foot race. So those are the stories I'm interested in telling. And of course, now I'm known for a lot of Christmas movies and I guess the new modern Cosby dad, you know, the guy, the Cosby dad that really fills those sweaters out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but people love watching you.
Yeah, I mean,
and they love the
I'm
characters
thankful.
that you're playing.
I'm thankful, man, because I'm thankful for my journey as an actor. To piggyback back on the question Queen asked me earlier, and I'm apologizing because I did not mean to not finish that question.
No,
I didn't mean to not do that for you though, but. Not the reason football was just something that I did because I was good at it, right?
Yeah.
And I knew the honor and gifts that you've been given. I wanted to be a basketball player. That was my first love, like the athletic love. Like that was the thing. I was like, okay, I'm gonna do the NBA, then I'm gonna go be an actor. Like, the acting was something I would love to do, but once you as an African American, you grow up and they start showing kind of physical aptitude. They're like, oh well, okay.
Yeah, if it's sports or some type
at
of
the minimum, we ain't got to pay for college.
That's right. That's the first thing people start thinking about.
At the minimum, my parents were educated, so it's like, ooh, at least we gonna have one that's gonna get a scholarship because he's,
But that's a big thing, Karon. You know why? Because we go to school and then we wind up graduating with all this debt. Like I speak on behalf of UNICEF, United Negro College Fund, right? I do a lot of keynote speaking for them. And it's so amazing when you see people stand up and say thank you to them because they have no college tuition because it's been paid for. That's huge. When you're going to school to become a part of society, to help society, you shouldn't have all this debt.
Yeah, you ain't got to pay for university in Canada.
Bro, exactly.
It's different out here, though. I know
exactly.
in school,
Canada.
I was able to go to school on a partial scholarship for, academics, speaking, debate, things like that. But even with the partial scholarship, you're talking about $600 for one textbook that you use one semester.
That's crazy.
That's
for
amazing.
one class.
That's crazy. Like I totally missed that experience.
Yeah.
I didn't get none of that. I don't even know.
I was like this. Somebody said, "Did you go to college?" I was like, "Yeah, I drove by all the time."
Hey, bro. No, I got my degree in psychology. Like I didn't do a drama major because football was too demanding. I wouldn't have been able to do both.
So you got a full ride scholarship?
Yeah, full ride scholarship to SMU out of high school. Then I went to Minnesota. I transferred to SMU. Got another one in Minnesota.
So you went pro right after school?
Out of Minnesota. Yep.
And you did
five years. Yep.
5 years?
In the NFL. Then I did 2 years in arena, which was really fun. Like
arena football sounds
it was
fun
hella fun. And I was
different.
thankful. Yeah, I was thankful for finishing out my career in arena because it gave me one last chance to experience football and have a little fun with it.
So that's like when basketball players go overseas to play, right?
Yeah.
Like it would be the equivalent, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That the talent is not as good. I was a big shark in the big field again for my my current call really because I really played it because.
And tell everybody the position that you played.
Defensive end, outside linebacker, still an all-time sack leader in University of Minnesota's history.
What teams did you play for?
Wait, we got to say that again. Say that again. Come on, one more time.
Still the all-time sack leader in the University of Minnesota's history. Still.
We gotta applaud.
20+ year records. It's not going anywhere.
Did they retire your jersey?
No, not yet. Not Stuart. I've been starting the campaign. Like at the minimum, I should be in the Hall of Fame at some point. I was like, dude, I was up there for homecoming this year, and I went on the news and was like, why am I not enshrined in something? Like my sack record hasn't been beaten in 20-something years, and I beat it in 2 years while I was here.
It's coming.
Like I beat it in 2 years. If I played 4 years at that school,
that's right.
It would never be beaten. Like we would be into like the year 3000.
Wow.
And when humans had to evolve, they might have got wings
to beat it.
Yeah, that's why, right? They got the wings.
29 in 2 years. I got 29
right.
sacks in 2 years.
And so, is there a certain amount of time that you have to go through in order for them to acknowledge that?
No,
or are you saying that it should have been done already?
I gotta play the game, bro. I don't play the games.
I don't
play them games, man.
Of course.
Like, I'm never played the games. That's why my career only lasted 5 years and instead of 10 in the NFL. Because I was the guy that was like, I'm not running through the wedge.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't scientifically make any sense.
Stop. So let me ask you about this. So I heard a couple of people over talking, And they said, and I was just listening to it. I didn't engage in the conversation because I had a very strong opinion about it, and didn't really have time to argue or debate. But they were saying that players don't make strong coaches.
No,
What do you think about that?
I disagree. I think players,
I disagree completely.
Players make the best coaches to me in real life. I mean, I'll be honest.
And in parentheses, you know who they were talking about. They were talking about Dion.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you
right?
about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Man, that's the reason why Dion is working, because again,
Dion's incredible.
I had a coach tell me one time, he's like, man, Karon, you gotta get your toe pointed this way, and right when you hit that corner, blah 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 blah. You know what I asked him? I said, Coach, you ever ran a 4.540? He said, what kind of question is that? Hell, I ain't ran no 4.540. I said, exactly. So you have no way of telling me how to do anything.
That's right.
I'm in another time zone, dog.
Right, you dealing with somebody
I'm the
else
future,
right now.
dog.
Yeah, yeah.
You're a
dealing with somebody
dinosaur,
else.
and you a little one at that.
You dealing from an old perspective, an old mindset, old thought
you're dealing with something you're not even cosmically capable of doing. You can't even dream the shit I do.
You typing on the typewriter when we using computers.
Bruh, I don't even have no, we're not even touching nothing. I'm just thinking. I'm thinking my thoughts.
And they wrote it out.
And they just wrote it out. In the future, we're not touching nothing because all these germs and shit. In a minute, we're gonna be out here with these mittens, and we have to constantly think. We think our text out.
They've created that. There's a technology where you think and then it scribes.
It's coming.
It's amazing.
I thought of it, so it's already happened.
It's amazing.
If I thought of it, somebody else thought of it that loves doing that kind of stuff. Somebody in Silicon Valley that loves sitting in front of the computer figuring numbers out.
It's figuring that out right now.
They're figuring it out.
Yep.
I just tapped into it because I'm tapped into the same source.
That's right.
So you did the 5 years of football.
I ain't gonna do nothing with that.
And what was your transition into acting? Like when you were like, okay, I'm done with football, you did arena football. What was it that brought you, like your first role, your first audition that brought you into acting?
Good question. My first acting coach, and Taurey, my wife, everybody that was around me at that time, it was like I had been studying, doing my, training and in class. You get to a point and it's like, dude, you're going to learn more doing than any class. And I understood that. Like, kinesiology, physically I understood that too. Like, that's right. I can sit here
and memory, the body.
Man, you Karon, you gotta come back. We got a whole nother show that we gotta do with you. And the reason I'm saying this, right?
Part 1 and part 2 and part 3.
We got of Karon, right? Because you mentioned kinesiology years ago. Somebody taught me how to see if something was good for me by taking it and putting it right in my solar plexus, putting my arm out.
And if it goes down,
that's
power,
bad.
It's power versus force.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm reading that book right now.
Exactly. It's
power versus force.
Yes.
I'm reading it right now.
I'm aware. I understand. It's amazing. So, look, you got to come back. We got to continue this conversation. Tell people where they can find you. And once again, you can watch Karon Joseph Riley on BET Plus on Carl Weber's The Black Hamptons. But tell people where they can find you on social media.
Karon Joseph Riley across all the platforms, all of them. Facebook, Twitter, all of it.
And the ladies want to know, does Karon cook?
Karon is an amazing cook. Karon, anything Karon does over an hour long, I'm amazing at.
Well, you heard it from Karon himself. I am Darrin DeWitt Henson.
I'm Taurey Henson.
And you've been grooved.